It started with a dead man's chest, and a secret that would cost men their souls. A young boy, entrusted with a map, leading to a fortune beyond imagination. But he's not the only one who wants it. On a ship bound for paradise, a crew of smiling sailors hides a brutal secret, led by a charming one-legged cook, who is more monster than man. Every friendly face is a mask. Every promise is a lie. On this island, trust is a fatal mistake, and the lust for gold will turn good men into savages. They will lie. They will betray. They will kill, all for the chance to claim Treasure Island. Now, the story itself. Tenny presents Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson.
Squire Trelawney, Dr. Livesey, and the rest of these gentlemen having asked me to write down the whole particulars about Treasure Island from the beginning to the end. I take up my pen in the year of Grace 17 and go back to the time when my father kept the Admiral Benbow Inn, and the brown old seaman with the saber cut first took up his lodging under our roof. I remember him as if it were yesterday, as he came plodding to the inn door, his sea chest following behind him in a hand barrow. He was a tall, strong, heavy, nut-brown man. His hands were ragged and scarred with black broken nails. He threw down some gold coins on the counter.
"This is for my board. You can tell me when I've worked through that."
He was a silent man, drinking rum all day, and watching the cove and the cliffs. His one terror was a seafaring man with one leg. He'd pay me a silver fourpenny on the first of every month to keep a weather eye open for him. Months went by. Then one day a man came. He was missing 2 fingers. His name was Black Dog. He and our guest, who we called the captain, fought violently before Black Dog fled, wounded. The fight gave the captain a stroke. As Dr. Livesey tended to him, the captain confessed his fear.
"They want my chest if I can't get away. They'll give me the black spot."
A few days later, a second visitor arrived, a blind man tapping his way with a stick. He grabbed my arm with a grip like a vice. He forced me to lead him to the captain. He pushed something into the captain's hand and slipped away. The captain looked at his palm.
10 o'clock. We've 6 hours.
He tried to stand, but fell to the floor with a groan. He was dead. My mother and I, knowing his old crewmates were coming, fled to the village for help. But no one would face the name of Captain Flint. So we returned alone. We opened his chest, found a bundle of papers wrapped in oilskin, and fled just as the pirates descended on the inn. We took the oilskin packet to Dr. Livesey and Squire Trelawney. Inside was a book with a grim accounting of plundered ships and gold. And beneath it, a map, an island with every detail noted, harbors, hills, and 3 red crosses. Beside one, it read, "Bulk of treasure here." The squire was ecstatic.
Trelawney, I'll go with you, and I'll go with Jim. There's no 2 honest men in all England that I'm prouder of.
The squire traveled to Bristol to secure a ship, the Hispaniola, and hire a crew. He wrote back with news. He had found a cook, a one-legged seafaring man named Long John Silver. He had helped the squire hire the rest of the crew. I was filled with a mix of excitement and a terrible foreboding about that one-legged man from the captain's nightmares. The voyage began smoothly. Captain Smollett was stern and disliked the crew. But Long John Silver was a marvel. He hopped about the deck on his crutch, telling stories, always with a cheerful word. He had a parrot, Captain Flint, that would screech, "Pieces of 8, pieces of 8." He was kind to me, and I began to trust him completely. Then, on the last night before we sighted the island, I went on deck for an apple. The barrel was nearly empty, so I climbed inside to get one. I must have dozed off. I awoke to a heavy thud, as a man sat down against the barrel. It was Silver, and I heard him speaking.
"Most of Flint's old crew are aboard this very ship. It was me that knew Black Dog, and the blind man, Pugh. I'll not have Trelawney and the others make it home from this trip. We'll wait until the treasure's aboard. Then we strike."
My blood ran cold. Our cook, our friend, was a monster. We were trapped on a ship with pirates, sailing toward our doom. As soon as the anchor was down, I slipped ashore with the first boat of pirates and ran for my life into the woods. I heard a scream from the shore. A man cut down. The mutiny had begun. Deeper in the woods, I saw something darting between the trees. It was a man, dressed in rags of old ship's canvas and goatskins. His skin was burned black by the sun, and his eyes were bright like glass.
"I'm poor Ben Gunn, I am. Marooned 3 years ago. I haven't spoken with a Christian these 3 years.
He was one of Flint's crew, left behind after a previous treasure hunt. He was desperate for a way home and for a piece of cheese. He told me he was rich and that he could help us. As we spoke, the sound of a cannon boomed across the island. The fight had started without me. I found my friends at an old stockade built by Flint. We were 6 against 19. After a fierce battle where we lost men on both sides, Silver came with a flag of truce.
Captain Silver, you're a prodigious villain and a consummate impostor. We'll see you all to the gallows. That's our offer.
The truce failed, and the pirates attacked the stockade.
Hey!
We beat them back, but the captain was wounded. That night, I had an idea. Ben Gunn had told me he had a small boat made of goatskin. Under the cover of darkness, I slipped out of the stockade. I found the coracle and paddled out to the Hispaniola. My plan was to cut her adrift, leaving the pirates stranded. It was a mad gamble, but I managed to cut the anchor rope. The ship and my tiny boat were swept out to sea on the current. After a terrifying struggle with the pirate Israel Hands, whom I was forced to kill in self-defense, I managed to beach the Hispaniola in a hidden cove. I made my way back to the stockade, expecting to be hailed as a hero, but as I crept inside in the dark, a voice screeched out,
"Pieces of 8! Pieces of 8!
It was Silver's parrot. The pirates had taken the stockade. I was their prisoner. His men wanted to kill me, but Silver protected me.
This boy is our hostage, and I'm captain here because I'm the best man by a long sea mile. You'll obey or you'll swing.
He was playing a double game, trying to save his own neck. He had the map. The next day, with me as their hostage, they set out to find the treasure. The treasure hunt was a grim affair. They found a skeleton, laid out as a pointer, a final morbid joke from Captain Flint. As they neared the spot marked on the map, the men grew wild with anticipation. But when they finally reached the giant tree, there was nothing, only a massive empty hole. The treasure was gone. The pirates turned on Silver and me in a fury.
Stand by for a squall.
Dr. Livesey, Ben Gunn, and the others ambushed the pirates from the thicket. It turned out Ben Gunn had found the treasure years ago and moved it all to his cave. He had traded this information to the doctor for safe passage home. We loaded the immense treasure onto the Hispaniola. We left the surviving mutineers marooned on the island. And as for Long John Silver, during a stop for supplies on our way home, he slipped away in a boat, taking a small sack of coins with him. I never saw him again. The rest of the treasure is still where we buried it. But for me, no amount of gold could tempt me back to that accursed island. The worst dreams I have are of the sea breakers roaring and of a parrot screeching,
Pieces of 8! Pieces of 8!
Next time on Tenny presents The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. The most fascinating part of Treasure Island isn't the gold. It's Long John Silver. He is not a simple villain. He is charming, brave, and intelligent. He's a murderer and a traitor. Yet he shows genuine affection for Jim. Stevenson forces us to ask a difficult question. Can a bad man still have good in him? Silver represents the core of the story. The seductive, dangerous, and complex nature of human morality itself. Our journey from the grim life-or-death struggle for gold now takes a turn. We leave the dark seas and cursed islands behind for the sun-drenched banks of the Mississippi River. But the spirit of adventure and the trouble that follows a mischievous boy can be just as perilous.